Your network doesn't begin with your LinkedIn connections or your contact lists. It begins with you. The most crucial relationship in your professional sphere isn't with your mentor, your boss, your client. It's your relationship with yourself. By the end of this video, you'll understand why self-acceptance is the hidden foundation of effective networking, how imposter syndrome sabotages valuable connections, and the specific tactics you can use to transform how you show up in professional settings. So I've spent over a decade studying relationship building professionals, and what I'm about to share might challenge conventional networking advice because it's not about clever conversation starters or follow-up systems. It's about something much more fundamental. I'll never forget standing outside the doors of a prestigious conference filled with best-selling authors and entrepreneurs who had sold companies for hundreds of millions. I've been invited several years running, but always declined. This time, well, I finally accepted. Walking in, I immediately felt like a fraud. The room buzzed with success stories that make mine seem insignificant. Instead of introducing myself to potential collaborators and friends and mentors and advisors, I did what most of us do when feeling inadequate. I orbited the perimeter, made awkward eye contact, and kind of escaped as quickly as possible as I could every time. Honestly, I left that conference feeling less motivated than when I arrived. Not more connected, but more isolated. Now, 2 years later, I attended that same conference again, but this time something remarkable happened. I walked into the room and instantly felt comfortable. I approached tables of strangers with confidence. I engaged in these meaningful, really deep conversations and built relationships that continue to benefit me today. Now, what changed? It wasn't my resume. It wasn't my conversation technique. To be honest, it was my relationship with myself. So when we talk about networking, we typically focus on external techniques, how to introduce yourself, how to follow up, how to add value. But those techniques will never compensate for a shaky foundation. Think of your self-relationship as the operating system on which all your networking apps run on. You can download the fanciest app in the world, but if your operating system is buggy, well, nothing works properly. This manifests itself in 3 specific ways. Number 1 is the authenticity barrier. When you're uncomfortable with who you are, you present a sanitized, professional version of yourself, what I call the vanilla professional. You hide your genuine interests, quirks, and perspectives because, well, you might not even know them, but if you do, you fear they're inappropriate or inadequate. These authentic elements are precisely what make you memorable and create real connection. Number 2 is the confidence gap. Without self-acceptance, you enter rooms already assuming rejection. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You hold back, appear hesitant, and others sense that hesitation. Your body language and tone and energy communicate uncertainty, which undermines trust. Number 3 is the value perception. How you value yourself directly impacts how others value you. If you don't believe your insights, experience, or perspective are worthwhile, well, why would anyone else? Your own self-judgment becomes the ceiling for how others can appreciate your contributions. Now, this isn't abstract psychology. It's practical business reality. Studies have shown that confidence is often weighed more heavily than competence in professional evaluations. In one Stanford study, confident candidates were 2.5 times more likely to be chosen for leadership roles than more accomplished but less confident peers. Isn't that crazy? So here are 5 specific tactics that you can implement today to strengthen your relationship with yourself before your next networking opportunity. Number 1 is an asset inventory. So before any important meeting or event, I want you to simply write down 5 to 7 unique experiences, perspectives, or qualities you bring that others might find valuable. or frankly, even if they don't, that you find valuable. These don't need to be credentials, right? Like, your diploma. These can be life experiences, cultural perspective, or even just personality traits that give you a unique lens. And number 2 is the self-acceptance matrix. I actually learned this from a coach who really helped me learn a lot more about my own relationships. So what if I walked into this room loving myself and assuming everyone else will too? If they don't, that's their problem. That's actually, by the way, what worked for me at that conference 2 years later. I just realized, hey, I love myself now, or I'm at least willing to try this on for a while. So try this exact phrase before your next event. It sounds simple, but it reframes the dynamic from I need to prove myself to I'm bringing value by showing up as myself. Number 3 is the pre-event self-alignment. So again, just 10 minutes before any networking situation, ask yourself, if I were completely confident in my value, how would I approach this situation differently? Then embody that version of yourself. Number 4 is the genuine one thing practice. In each conversation, share one thing you are genuinely interested in or excited about, regardless of whether it seems professional or relevant, right? You can just always slip it in the conversation in some way. Authenticates the conversation and gives others permission to be real too. Number 5, the rejection reframe. When someone seems uninterested in connection, and this will happen regardless of your own self-worth or value. Instead of assuming it's a rejection of you and your worth, you can just reframe it as like, oh, that person just doesn't know me well enough yet. Or, hey, chemistry didn't match. Or, oh, well, what's their problem? Like, don't worry about it. The quality of your network isn't determined by the number of connections or their status. It's determined by the depth and authenticity of these relationships. And that depth begins with how genuinely you can show up. Your immediate next step is simple. So before your next meeting, event, or introduction, I just want you to take 2 minutes to practice maybe that self-acceptance line. Write it down if you need. What if I walk into this room or conversation loving myself and assuming everyone else will too? That's really just what changed my life. Watch what happens when you operate from that foundation. You'll find that relationship building transforms from a draining exchange, because ultimately the most important relationship in your network is the one that follows you into every room you will ever be in, which is your relationship with yourself. I hope you found this valuable. I record a lot of videos about helping you build and maintain professional, authentic relationships. If you have any questions whatsoever, more than happy to talk about it. With that being said, have an absolutely fantastic day.